Happy anniversary, I guess, Sparking Zero players. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? And welcome back to another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video. And we are officially 1 year removed from the global release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on October 11, 2024. And I want to see just how well this game has held up in its 1 year since release. Now, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has had a lot of ups, probably even more downs. I do want to give Dragon Ball Sparking Zero credit where credit is due. It is one of the most gorgeous looking anime games that I've ever played in my life, right up there with Dragon Ball FighterZ. And we'll talk a little bit more about Dragon Ball FighterZ in a second. The initial playthrough of all of the episode battle what ifs is just amazing. I wish that I could get that same experience going back and playing any of the custom battles, any more episode battles, which I feel like they should eventually update and potentially add even more what ifs in the future. Now, custom battle is one of the areas of this game where I feel like they really dropped the ball. Custom battle was supposed to be the thing that kept this game going for years to come, and I feel like it's been one of the most lackluster aspects of the game. Now, yeah, they do add additional tags and maybe like other title screens and things like that every couple of updates. I just don't think that's enough. I don't think that what the general audience is able to do within custom battle is enough to keep, again, the general audience engaged with that game mode. Now, there are specialists out there. I've seen a couple of channels pop up on my recommended feed that specialize in custom battle content, and they do amazing at it. But for, again, the general audience, just people like me and you that maybe want to get on and play like a bonus battle or check out people's really cool custom battles and maybe even potentially make your own, I feel like that is kind of where that mode falls off. It's really convoluted to make your own custom battles, especially in the way that you might imagine in your head. And while that's not all the way on the fault of Bandai, they could make it a little more intuitive, I guess you could say. Now, another aspect of Sparking Zero that I really do appreciate is how well a lot of these characters are made. Now, when I say how well they're made, obviously some of these movesets just seem like copy and paste on others, right? But when it comes to the animations of a lot of these characters, they went above and beyond, especially, and I really like to point out these last couple of DLCs. Maybe not the second DLC, but the Hero of Justice Pack DLC and the second Daima DLC, I think are absolutely amazing. The animations for Orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, the Gammas, Core Breaker is absolutely phenomenal. Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku, Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta, they went absolutely crazy with these animations, but that's just not enough to keep people engaged once again and to keep people coming back to the game. If they want to see sick animations for Dragon Ball characters, a casual player can just go play Dokkan. The animations on Dokkan are just getting better with every single unit that releases, you know, give or take a few, obviously. But when there's big celebrations, when there's, you know, huge things going on within Dokkan, they hit it out of the park every single time. I kind of wish Dragon Ball Legends updated their graphics and art style a little bit to kind of get out of the shadow of Dokkan, but that's a totally different subject. However, that's another video for another day. But I also do want to give a little bit of credit to Sparking Zero because it does seem like they are slowly, even though unfortunately it might be too late, but they are very slowly trying to find some type of middle ground between the competitive players and the casual players. Now, two things can be true here. Typically, and not every time, but typically the casual player base is going to be a huge determining factor in a game's lifespan and longevity in the general market. But I also don't think that that means in all of these scenarios that games should be balanced around those casual players, when usually the competitive side of the player base has a better understanding of the game itself and how to make it better moving forward. This is where some games have gone really wrong and some games are still kicking to this day because they understand this concept as well. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is, I don't know if they're struggling, but they are trying to, like I said, find some middle ground between the competitive and the casual player base. However, even though I was able to go on for I don't even know how long at this point about things that I do enjoy about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, that in no way erases some of the issues still surrounding this game that are prevalent to this day, whether they're able to be addressed by the devs or not. Don't get me wrong, some things the devs aren't going to be able to do anything about, like certain types of play styles within Sparking Zero, but other things they can definitely do better at. Now, I won't make this part too incredibly long because we've talked about the majority of this numerous times before, but by any metric you want to go by, this game is still severely lacking in customizations, which is, by the way, let me remind you, something we were promised before the game even released to be, I guess at this point it just feels like a selling point for the game game to get, you know, those first month's numbers up. Regardless though, however you want to look at it, the game is severely lacking in character customizations, whether you want to name ability item capsules, outfits, emotes. In my personal opinion, there should be more BGMs. We were just promised so much more than what we actually got, and it's a shame that we're 1 year in, 365 days around the sun playing this game, and we still have not gotten any customization updates outside of mini Daima getting an ability changing outfit. Let me tell you guys how minuscule of a change they could implement that would make such a difference in this game. One thing that I talk about with Birdo often is that when you're playing a mirror match in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, it would be so nice if one of you guys just had an alternate color to your outfit, right? Like say with Super Saiyan 4 Daima, if I'm in a mirror match, since that's a really prevalent character right now since the DLC has come out, if I'm in a mirror match against a Super Saiyan 4 Daima, why can't one of us just have alternate color pants? Like, why can't the opponent have blue pants and orange boots and orange wristbands? That would make so much of a difference to me. It's just a quality of life thing, but even that is a little bit more effort into the customization than we've gotten this 365 days into the game. Just small stuff like that would make a huge difference to me. And we don't even have to go into things like different outfits and accessories, which definitely should be in the game at this point, because honestly I feel like Genshin Squadra is a couple of months away from putting accessories into the game, just little cosmetics that you can put on your character. That's gonna be really cool if they end up doing that, but the fact that it's not in Sparking Zero, it just goes to the fact that we were promised insane customizations for this game, and it's been radio silent ever since the game came out. They do their little updates every couple of months, and that's really it. They do some balance changes for a couple of characters and change some abilities and techniques here and there. Nothing about customization whatsoever yet, and it took them 3 DLCs to add 1 new map, which leads me into my next big issue with Sparking Zero a year in. After a year on this game, we have gotten 1 new stage, and it's the first demon world, which really is just this red wasteland with a couple of spikes sticking up out of the ground. Not even relatively close to how complex some of these other stages are, like the city stage, for example, where you have all these structures and buildings, and you can fight within the buildings, you can destroy the buildings, there's street lights, there's cars, etc. This isn't anything close to that, and it took us a year almost to get this. With how many stages there are in other Dragon Ball fighting games, this is almost unforgivable. I don't know what's going on with the dev team right now, but there are some things that just have to be addressed after a while. Even Dragon Ball FighterZ, for example, which regardless of that being a 2D game or not and having nowhere near the amount of characters as Sparking Zero, has alternate colors for most of, if not all of the characters on their roster. I think they might even have more stages than us. If I'm not mistaken, we're up to, with the addition of the first demon world, I think we might be up to 13 or 14 stages now for Sparking Zero. I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball FighterZ has 14 stages too. In a lot of ways, it just really feels like we were given the bare minimum on things that we were promised before the game even released. Not saying that we were promised a bunch of different stages and things like that, because we were speculating up until the game finally dropped. And I don't know, man, I'm just not happy with that portion of the game so far. And another thing that I really think the team needs to address is how communication surrounding this title ever since release, it feels like, I'm sorry for lack of better words, has been piss poor. Feel free to disagree with me down below in the comments, but I highly doubt that there's many, if any, people at all that would disagree with that. Before Dragon Ball Sparking Zero officially released last year, it felt like they were doing everything right and they really cared about where this game was gonna go. Felt like Bandai had boots to the ground out there. They were interacting with the community more. They were listening to us. People were even being interviewed after playing the game at certain events, and I know because I was at an event where I got interviewed after playing the game on my thoughts, what I thought could be better, what I hope to see in the future. And it seems like ever since the game came out, all of that just disappeared into thin air and nobody's really talking about it. Well, I can't say nobody's really talking about it, because I've seen, like, Rhyme Style is very vocal about his expectations for this game and what he thinks went wrong. There's just an aspect of this game that I feel like is not there anymore. I just in a way feel like I was bamboozled when it comes to Sparking Zero. Now don't get me wrong, even though I am kind of going off on a rant right now, I do still enjoy the game, but it just could be so much better than it is. I just want this game to be so much more and so much better than it currently is, and I want it to be looked at in a better light too. It doesn't make me feel good that this game is being called one of the biggest anime flops of all time, is dead not even a year into its lifespan, etc, etc. Dragon Ball FighterZ is about to make one of the biggest comebacks of all time, with Super Saiyan 4 Daima-Goku DLC being released in spring of 2026. I want something like that for Sparking Zero. I don't know what could kickstart this game into a good light for people again, like it was, you know, when was the last time this game was in good standing with people? I don't even know, man. Probably before release, if we're being totally honest. Well, I guess maybe the first week or two when everybody was still doing like the what ifs and episode battle and things like that. But what does that tell you? The online side of this game, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw all the customizations and the stage complaints and everything in there too, has never really been in a good light with the community. And I feel like it's gotten to such a point in the community, and I really hate to say this, if nothing spectacular happens with Battle Hour, we don't get a season 2 announcement soon or anything like that, I don't know, is it too late for Sparking Zero? I really hope not, especially with the state the entire Dragon Ball franchise is in right now. We're not going to be getting any manga characters. There's no new anime after Dragon Ball Daima currently right now, so I don't really know where this game goes moving forward. All those other Dragon Ball games that people are playing right now, they still have a lot of content. There's still Daima characters missing from even this game. There's still Daima characters missing, but we don't know if they're ever going to come. We know that there's going to be more Daima characters in Dragon Ball Legends. There's a ton of Daima characters. I think they're literally missing all of the important Daima characters in Dokkan Battle. I can't really name the state of Xenoverse 2 right now. I know that they have Super Saiyan 4 Daima-Goku, and I know they have, I think, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, right? But I don't think they have the minis, so there's still content for Xenoverse 2. Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting resurrected from the dead like Thriller, and I'm gonna be on that heavy when this character drops in Dragon Ball FighterZ, so be prepared for that, guys. But I don't know, man. 1 year into Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, there's some good with the game, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of bad still as well, and I just don't know if they necessarily care as much as we do. Like, what about the people that like playing offline in the game? I feel like they've just totally been forgotten about for the online portion of the game that's still very lackluster for a lot of us that like playing ranked and player match. What about the people that like playing the offline content? Legendary Warrior Face Off is not that good, I'm sorry. You play through all the episode battles and do all the what ifs, that's it. You play some custom battles and bonus battles, sure, but you're probably not going out of your way every day to hop on Sparking Zero to get on custom battles unless you're making them yourself and you want to sit there for 3 hours making your own custom battle every day. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I really hope it doesn't sound like I'm trying to bash on the game. I'm just really passionate about this game, and I don't want it to be completely dead, devoid of 99% of its players in less than 2 years. Sorry if it felt like I was a little bit all over the place with this video, but I didn't write any script down. I was just speaking straight from the heart about how I feel about this title. I know there's still a lot of stuff that I didn't mention, both good and bad. Like, I know that we have split screen multiplayer for the people that want to play with their friends, but in that same breath, we still don't have crossplay either, which is another thing that they told us they were working on last year, which is another very important aspect of the game that we need implemented at some point. It affects the player base. There are people in my comments of Sparking Zero videos to this day asking about crossplay, saying that maybe they don't play the game as much anymore because there is no crossplay, or they just don't play it at all because they can't play with their friend who is on another system. So again, something else that has to be addressed for the future longevity of this game. But I think I'm gonna just cut it right there, guys, because if I go on any further, it's gonna feel like I'm just bashing Sparking Zero on its 1 year anniversary, and I don't want to do that. So leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Again, I want to reiterate this, there is a lot of good with Sparking Zero. That's why I spent the beginning of the video going over the things that I like and enjoy about the game, but there's also things that we have to be honest about. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about everything that we've gone over here today. Do you still enjoy Sparking Zero? Are you still playing it daily, or do you just hop on to maybe play with friends every now and then and that's about it? But anyways, fellas, sorry if it felt like I was going too hard on the game, and there's a lot of stuff, good and bad, that I didn't mention, but I wanted to keep this video kind of short because, again, I don't want to seem like I'm just dragging the game through the mud on the 1 year anniversary. I still really enjoy Sparking Zero. I still play it regularly. I might not upload it every day like I used to, but I still do play regularly. I think I have like close to 400 hours on the game. So yeah, I play in my free time. I don't post it all the time, but I do still regularly play. Some of you guys probably run into me online every now and then, but anyways, fellas, have a great day. I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys.